Hey, I'm Chris Carr, former Isakson intern, former Deputy Chief of Staff and Chief of Staff to Senator Isakson, and now the Attorney General of the state of Georgia, and I am tremendously honored to have been asked to participate in today's recognition and celebration of Senator Isakson as the Atlanta Rotary rightly gives him the Legends Award. Johnny's an icon. I am so proud that I could have worked with him. I'm so proud that I could call him a friend. And for him to get this recognition, which I know does not happen very often, I think is incredibly fitting. And I know everybody knows Johnny. I mean, that's what we all know. Johnny was Johnny. Icon, U.S. Senator, but that's what he was always known as. And that just really showed Johnny's humility and his purpose as a public servant. Two moments kind of stand out in Johnny's career that I really think show him as this icon and deserving of this award. You know, he was first elected in 1976, a Republican in a Democratic state during the Watergate scandal when Republicans were losing, but Johnny found a way to bring people together to vote for him there, and that was a theme. He brought people together. 1997, after having run against Zell Miller, another icon in Georgia history, Governor Miller goes to Johnny Isakson and asks him, his former opponent, to come together to reestablish the State Board of Education. I think that's a defining moment for both of them, and it really shows who Johnny was and his ability to work across the aisle. It happened in the House and in the Senate. And here you've got a guy that was in the Georgia House, the Georgia Senate, the U.S. House of Representatives, and the United States Senate, and he stayed the same. He did the same thing, and that's why he was so respected. And why? Because he had a philosophy that every Isakson staffer and anyone around Johnny knows. It's called friends and future friends. Johnny only had friends and future friends, and it served him so well in business, it served him well in politics, it serves him well to this day. Two stories that I really think exemplify that. One time when I was an intern in '96, we went to Manuel's Tavern for lunch. Manuel Maloof, longtime Democratic elected official from DeKalb County, was there. My friend said, "Don't tell Mr. Maloof you're a Republican." Well, they thought it was funny to take me up, introducing me to him and say, well, he works for Johnny Isakson. And Manuel looked at me in the eye and he said, "Johnny Isakson is a great man. You tell him I said hello." And then his career is coming to an end last fall. 100 U.S. senators came together to pay tribute at a lunch to Johnny Isakson. And many of those senators lined up to pay tribute to Johnny on the floor of the Senate. It had to go on a couple of days because the slots kept filling. But it was the tribute in the House that I think is the one that we'll all remember most. After his former colleagues in the House of Representatives paid tribute to him, Congressman Lewis did as well. And the two of them, Johnny and the congressman, come together in the middle of the floor of the House of Representatives to embrace. It is a moment that few of us will ever forget, and it's really, I think, defines and exemplifies both of those legends. So Johnny, congratulations on this award. You are well deserving of it, and we all say thank you for all that you've done for so many years, for so many of us.
My name is Canon Carr. I'm president of the Rotary Club of Atlanta, and it is my pleasure to present our Legends Award on behalf of the membership of our club to someone who is indeed a legend in Atlanta, Georgia, and national history, Senator Johnny Isakson. Senator, this is a special award that our club gives, and we don't give it often, and it goes to people who are very special, people who have shown courage in providing leadership and commitment with passion to the challenging issues of our time. You represent that with your leadership through the years so much, and it is our club's honor and pleasure to be able to present this award to you. And I want to say that you have so many friends in our club and so many who wish they could be with us today. I'm sure that day will come and they will be able to thank you and congratulate you personally, but for today we are able to do it by video. And I do want to thank two people before we get started. One, Attorney General Chris Carr for his comments about you today. And second, Glenn Jackson, who organized this event for us, and his production team who's putting on this video production. So with that, we welcome your remarks and thoughts for a few moments, Senator.
I got the few minutes part. I know that key very well. I'm glad to be here, and I thank you for asking me here, and I thank you for this award. It's Not something that I expected, nor something I really think is probably meritorious for me, but it's something that means very much to me because the Rotary Club means so much to me, and the Atlanta Rotary Club does. So it's great to be with you, and I thank you very much for the recognition. I also want to say, just a second, I understand you've given the same award to John Lewis, and I want to commend you for having done that. John's one of the best friends I made in politics over the years. We started out in Atlanta almost 4 years apart. He was in 1936, and I was 44, and I was 40. And so our careers were parallel all the way through in high school and college and everywhere along it. He's a great Georgian. He's a great American. We're going to all miss him very much. I'm so sorry we lost him, but I'm so glad the club took the time to recognize him. He is truly a legend. I am not a legend, but I'm working to look like people like John Lewis one day if I could ever be that good. He's terrific. I thank you also because I love the visit to Rotary Club in Atlanta and speak. You know, when you're a politician in Georgia, and if you're running for office, you become a Rotarian automatically because you're going to make 50 speeches at a Rotary Club in a year. You're going to have perfect attendance every year because you're going to be asked to come speak. Because Rotary's always so involved and interested in what's going on and engaged in their communities. So I always love to go to Rotary Clubs and speak, and there are 3 or 4 of them I like the best. None better than Atlanta. Atlanta Rotary is just a special environment. It's special for a number of people. There are a lot of people out there a lot more famous than anybody that's asked to speak there is. But it's so great to be with the Atlanta Rotary Club and its membership. It means so much, and what it means to the city of Atlanta. You go to a Rotary lunch in Atlanta, you're going to see the president of universities, you're going to see the generals at bases, you're going to see the chief CEOs of companies flying in and out of Atlanta, Hartsfield, all over the world, and you're going to see people who care about their state. And you can't get a better cross-section than that, but they want to come because whether they're a member or not, they know it's a place where they can find out what's really going on and see what the cross-section of society in our state really means at that particular point in time. So I thank you for honoring me with this. I don't know that it's all merited, but I know it's appreciated very much by me and gives me a standard to try and continue to live up to as long as I have the lucky opportunity to do that.
Well, you have given us all a standard to live up to, and your leadership, your courage, you're representing the things that are right in your character. It's been just an example for people like me who are, coming into the city, but also, leaders alongside you through the years who've been able to stand with you and on important issues. So you have set the standard for us. Thank you. And I do remember when you would come speak for our club, it would be a sellout crowd, 350 people filling the room at Loudermilk. So, we've always appreciated your time that you've spent with our club.
Well, you're going to have a crowd when you go. It's always a good crowd. Not necessarily all your supporters, but all your friends.
Right.
I don't care who they support as long as they're friends of Atlanta and friends of mine. I'll go be with them anytime I can because it's all friends working together that makes the difference.
Well, very true. Well, just last question for you. How are you spending your time these days?
I'm revisiting the warm places of my life. I'm revisiting what's now the Atlanta International School, which was North Fulton High School when I went to high school in Atlanta, 50 years ago. I'm calling the old kids that are in the senior annual, trying to track down some folks that I lost track of in Vietnam or something like that. Try to help people that I could help and try and help do some things that I think ought to be done in our city. Most importantly, I'm working on right now in terms of activity for the county and for the community and for the citizens. I'm working on a foundation that I've started for Parkinson's. I have Parkinson's and started dealing with it and found out exactly what it was to deal with and found out how much wasn't known about it and how much people who did have it needed to know and be able to have information to get so they don't hurt themselves earlier than they would have anyway. And so it's been a rewarding experience for me to raise money for this foundation, and we got our biggest contribution, second biggest contribution yesterday of $150,000. So we got a lot of people who are trying to help us. We're trying to get to $1 million this year, and then use that as an annual budget from then on out to raise the money we need. The University of Georgia is bringing in 2 professors, eminent scholars on neurological and I can't remember half the names are this long. I can't spell them, I don't know what it means, but it's a specialty on the brain work, and Parkinson's is an incurable neurological disease, but it's manageable to an extent, and it's an exercise to get a person to manage it. But if you can get it to them, they live much more of a quality of life while they have it than they would have otherwise. So that's been rewarding to me to deal with that. I lost my mother to Alzheimer's, and now I'm a senior, 75 years old. I'm going to try and work on those things that I'm going to be liable to get, other than Parkinson's or anything else. So I'm spending a lot of my time doing that.
Well, I know they're lucky to have you involved, and once again, I just want to say thank you for all you've done for our state through your service and public service through the years and for our club. So thank you very much.